Hey up everybody, Magpie Gaming here, and in this video I'm just going to share with you some useful links for Escape from Tarkov. Now this is a precursor to a beginner's guide that I'm going to create for the game, currently writing up my scripts for that, and it's going to be quite a big one. I think it'll comprise of maybe 4 or 5 videos altogether. I'm going to be looking at each stage of the game from a beginner's point of view, because I think it's one of those games that's very daunting for new players to get into, and I think if there was a better way of easing people in, then maybe more people would play this game. I think it's an amazing game. I enjoy it very much despite all of its numerous quirks and broken bits, etc. But yeah, I found it, when I started playing, I found it a very hard game to get into, and I had to go googling things to find out how to do certain things, even basic things with, you know, what ammo could I buy, what ammo could I put in certain things. But it turns out that there's a lot of help out there. There are a lot of websites dedicated to helping you, there are a lot of YouTubers dedicated to helping you. So I'm going to go through a list of what I use personally. You might find better ones out there. These are just the ones that I use, and I found them to be quite good for what I need out of the game. So the first one is a website by someone called J James Games, sorry, and he does video game tutorials and guides. He does one for Rust, and I think there's another game, and then he does this one for Escape from Tarkov. Now it's just one guy doing it on his own, so obviously sometimes it takes him time to update certain things, but to be fair, probably about 80% on this right now is accurate. The devs of Escape from Tarkov like to tweak things, so it's hard for people that do guides like this to keep up, but this guy does a pretty good job. Now he does a key guide. Now there's a drop down menu, you can pick the key, so for instance if you're in the game and you pick a key, or you want to know what key you need for a certain location or where to get it, go to the drop down menu, select it, it will tell you what that key does, roughly where it spawns, and there are also pictures to show you whereabouts it spawns and pictures to show you the rooms that you can use it for. So I think that's a really good thing to have. The keys can be confusing, they give you very little description within the game, so getting a little help with them is always a good thing. Next up, and the main one that I use this website for, is the mod guide. Now there are a lot of weapons in Escape from Tarkov, we know this. There are a lot of attachments, there are a lot of ammo types, and it can be confusing to know which goes with which. And then you throw in the fact that depending on what level you are with traders will depend what you can and can't buy. It becomes a bit of a nightmare. It can be very overwhelming, to be fair, for new players to work out what the hell can go with what. So using this website's mod guide, you can pick the weapon that you want to mod, and it will show you every attachment, everything that will go with that weapon, and it will show you what trader and what level you need to be to get that. So let's say for instance you have an AK-105. You want to know what sight will go with that, what attachment you will need to put on the gun to fit that sight. You'll be able to find out roughly which vendors you can go to and who you can get those off. So I think it's a really useful thing to have, because as I say, if you go into the game without something like this, you're just going to sit there and think, what the hell am I meant to do? You know, where do I get the ammo for this? Why can't I put a sight on that, etc, etc. So it's really a useful guide to have. It's got some really good stuff on there. It covers every weapon. As I say, he updates it as and when he can, so it doesn't update instantly, but it updates eventually. So yeah, it's a good website. Now you can see the address on the screen right now. I will also put a link. I'll put a link for everything that I'm going to show you today in the description below, so that you can go to that. Next up, we've got United We Stand, and this is a forum. It has an Escape from Tarkov little section, and a guy has done a key guide. So much like the other website where you could do the drop down menu and it would tell you what the key did and where you could go, this is pretty much the same. There's no pictures with this one though, it's just typed out explanations. It's all put into sections, so you've got factory, woods, customs, shoreline, interchange, and then the request keys and unknown useless keys, and it gives a description of what every key does and what you can kind of expect to get from the rooms that it opens. So let's pick a random one, say room 214 in the 3-story dorms. 214 is the ammo room, generally some high grade ammo. There's a safe on the floor near the wall. Also quest location, key 203 can be found in the red mug. So it tells you what you can get in there. I think it's a good little thing to have. As I say, you get these keys and you get a very small description within the game. It doesn't give you anything more than that, so you've got to go out and find more information about it. Next up, we've got the Escape from Tarkov Wiki. Now this would seem like a pretty ordinary one to go to. It would be one of your first ports of call. For me it wasn't. I didn't discover over it until a few weeks ago, and that was when I was trying to work out what I needed for certain tasks, because the tasks within the game, sometimes you can get a massive description on the task, but it doesn't actually tell you what the fuck you're meant to do or what you're meant to get. You've then got to go into the tasks menu, open it up, and it'll eventually tell you what you've got to do. Now this gives you a list of tasks from each of the vendors, and it gives you an explanation as to what you need out of them. So for instance, for Ragman, his first quest is only business. This is to obtain loyalty level 2 with him. It'll tell you your reward as well. You'll get 8,500 XP reward. Your reputation with him will go up by 0.05. You'll get 10,000 rubles and a Wartech gear rig. So it gives you an idea of what you can expect. It also tells you what you need to collect and how much of. I think that's a useful guide to have. It's just a useful little backup. Now I know this is information that you can find out within the game, but if you're not in the game and you don't want to launch it, then it's a good little website to go to find that out. There's also all sorts of other stuff on the wiki as well to keep you entertained. You know, if you need to know something, it is probably on there. The next one is the official ammo table. This is what Escape from Tarkov put out. I'll put the link in the description below, and basically this is giving you all of the stats of every ammo type within the game. It gives you the initial price, the damage, the penetration value, the projectile speed, ricochet chance, the fragmentation chance, the armor to damage ratio, usefulness meta value, and meta value with frag chance. So it's a good way to see the different types of ammo, see which ammo is going to suit you best. Obviously, depending on what level you are within the game will dictate what kind of ammo you can get and who from. Obviously, the more powerful ammo is reserved for those that have ranked up a lot or got better loyalty with certain vendors. But it's a useful way just to check through and pick which one will be best for you depending on what ones you have access to. Next up, and this might seem like a pretty basic one, but it is the Escape from Tarkov official Reddit. And this is something that I've recently been using. There's some good stories on there, there's some good experiences put on there. It's a good source for information. You can go on there and have a rant about certain things, ask for help. And one of the things that I've noticed is that everybody is very helpful. There isn't any kind of, trolling going on there or people having a go at people. It's all very civilized. If you're stuck in the game and you need help, you can go to there and you will more than likely get help. There are a lot of people subscribe to it, so that you will always get help on there. Plus it's a good source of information for knowing what's being put in updates and things like that. So yeah, I found it really useful, and of course there's a link in the description for it. The next one up is the official Escape from Tarkov forum. Now this is something that you will have access to once you've bought the game. You can join the forum, and yeah, again, a nice friendly place. There's it's split into different sections. There's an English section and a Russian section, of course. They're then split into sections, so if you have an issue with the game, you can go in there and post it, and more often than not you will get help within a couple of hours. Definitely you get a lot of help on there. Again, everybody's very friendly. There's no trolling or anything like that. It's a good place to go if you need information on the game. And the last two that I'm going to mention are the official Twitter for Battlestate Games, the official Facebook for Battlestate Games or Escape from Tarkov, and actually there's three that I'm going to mention. There's one EFT beta announcer. Now this, I'm not sure if this is run by Battlestate Games or it's separate, but that puts out information on the updates, things like that, when you can expect an update, what's going to be in it, the timescale, etc. It's good to follow things like that so that you have an up-to-date view of what is happening with the game and when updates are going to come along. Especially the Twitter account for Battlestate, everything goes on there. I will say on a personal note, they are very slow at putting patch notes out. This is an annoying one. For instance, there was an update to the game yesterday, still no patch notes, haven't even come out and said, what was fixed or what was changed within the game. It's just been left as it was. So yeah, I think they could do better on things like that, but they do seem to be a lot better now than what there was this time last year for definite. So yeah, those are the links that I use for the game. If you're stuck in the game, these links might help you out. If you need to know what a key does, if you need to know what a certain, attachment will fit to, then these websites will definitely help you. As I say, this is a precursor to a guide that I'm going to do, but yeah, these links all have helped me massively within the game. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and of course if you have links to any better websites, ones that you think are better than the ones that I've picked, do of course put them in the comment section below for other people to use. I will of course check them out and maybe put them in another little video. So yeah, as always, take care, and I will catch you in the next one.